Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Okay, well, you're on This Week in Startups. Are you new to the program?
No, I've been watching since the beginning.
You're kidding. So
not.
how many of the 10 episodes have you seen?
I have seen all 10.
Whoa! That means you've watched 20 hours of This Week in Startups because every show is averaging an hour and 45 minutes. Did you have a favorite guest?
A favorite guest?
Or two. I mean, who amongst your favorites?
I really liked, let's see. I don't know. They were all really good.
Come on. Oh, come on.
Lauren.
You like Lauren from Savings. All right.
He's a cool
there you
guy.
go.
I thought he had some really interesting stuff going on with that company.
Yeah, they're doing very well. I mean, they had a big announcement this week that I joined the board.
Congratulations.
And yes, I was on the board. Full disclosure, before he was on the program.
Poker? Before poker?
Yes.
Really?
Well, see, this is the thing. This is why people ask me to be on the board, because they know I have access. So he asked me to be on the board. Then we get to the Wall Street Journal D conference,
And you get to
and he's like, "Hey, can I get into the poker game?" And I was like, "Of course." And then the VCs who are on his board were like, "Can we get into the poker game?" I'm like, "Okay, fine." Then I got the people from this next board who want to be on the board. The poker game is...
It was big.
I think out of all the assets I have right now, and, you know, in sort of to do favors, forget about introducing people to Cuban or Michael Moritz or Elon Musk. Forget it. I get you into the poker game. So anyway, thanks for being a fan of the show and supporting it. You have a question for us. Let's hear it.
I do. My question is, if you're launching a new product on the web, how do you get good or effective press around your product launch, such as TechCrunch or Engadget reviews, if you don't have the money to hire a PR firm and you're new to the biz, so you don't have connections to bloggers or the media?
This is a great question. How do you get yourself covered? And I've talked about this in my email newsletter. I am not a big fan of PR companies. I'm on the board of some companies that hire PR companies. I believe that the thing you need to do to get press is to be amazing, duh, and be everywhere, duh. So what you have to ask yourself is to honestly look at your product and say, if I was a journalist or a blogger, how would I view this? So do have a little empathy. Put yourself in the shoes of the blogger, in the shoes of the writer, and look at TechMeme and the stories of the day and say, how do you compare to those stories? Okay, so if the news day happened to be the day when Yahoo gets, sells their search, or Twitter's down, and all this other stuff, you're competing with some other good stories. Where do you stand on that so that you can get a realistic idea of how you're going to do? Now, you don't want to start engaging bloggers and the press at the moment that you have something to ask of them, right? That's like saying, hey, I'm going to become friends with this guy, Peter Pham. He's cool, he's connected. And the first email Peter gets from me is, hey, can you buy me lunch? Or, hey, can you introduce me to this person? It's like the first thing is I'm asking him for a favor. Bad move. So what you want to do is 2-3 months before you have your launch, you want to go target 5 sites, maybe 10 sites. Read the sites every day. Look at the bylines. Then you're going to want to sub-target the 1 or 2 people who are on your space. So if it was me and I was doing search, I would look for Wikia failed search and Jimmy Wales on those blogs and see if people covered that disaster of a project. And then I would see if they did Search Me, which also I think is going out of business, or any of the other, Hakia, any new search engine that is out there. Who's covering it? Who's done the most stories about search engines and maybe human-powered search? Who's done Cha-Cha? Who's done stories on, what else, Tyler, is a human-powered search engine that's out there that's doing stuff? Aardvark. Once you target all of those people, then you look at their posts and you make an incredibly insightful comment, and you put your name at the bottom, and the link goes to your blog about your company. You don't put, I'm from this company, here's what I do. This is kung fu, like this is deep level stuff. You do not want to seem like you're promoting. You want to only comment if you have something wildly intelligent to say. Embedded in there is an insight that you liked about that journalist or blogger. So, great story on the failure of Wikia. I agree with your points A, B, and C. That's the suck up, right? And then afterwards, I also think that a founder who's traveling around the world and not in the office is probably a contributing factor to why Wikia search failed. I mean, there's a lot of comments you can put about that failure. So anyway, you're contributing intelligent stuff to the conversation. This goes back to the Clue Train Manifesto. Have you read the Clue Train Manifesto?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so you're gonna Google that after the show. You're gonna find that. You're gonna read it. Okay, all markets are conversations. You need to join the conversation in a legitimate way. You're also going to start a blog. You take the comment from that you put on TechCrunch, that you put on Alt Search Engines, that you put on Mashable, that you put on Read Write Web, whatever the people, all things D, and you write that, you take that comment and you make it into a longer blog post saying, Kara Swisher said something really intelligent today about the failure of Wikia search. Here's what I agree with. And I also read something over here by Eric Schoenfeld at TechCrunch about Jimmy Wales failing. And all that stuff will then build up to you joining the conversation in a credible way. And they, of course, read the comments. Journalists and bloggers obsess over the comments. And if they see something intelligent, they click on the person and say, who is that person? You get a Twitter account going, you do the same thing in the Twitter accounts. When you have something that you're going to put a comment on, you say, wow, great post by Eric Schoenfeld. You do a search for Eric Schoenfeld Twitter, you find his Twitter account, you follow him. So now you're interacting with these people and becoming a human being with interesting things to say and who listens. Now, you don't need a PR company, because guess what? PR companies, this is what they do. Except when they do it, it's a real pain in the ass to journalists and bloggers. When I was a journalist, we had a no PR rule. There was like maybe 2 PR people I would tolerate and talk to because I was like friends with them, but gosh, I hated them. They wasted so much of my time. I hated all PR people equally. And it wasn't personal, it's just that PR people are friction. And what you want to do is develop a direct relationship between the CEO and the journalist blogger. And that's what all journalists and bloggers want. So, for example, with Savings.com, when they were doing their launch, their 2.0 launch, which you may have read about, I'm on the board, I talked to the PR company, which is a great company, and they said, hey, can you introduce us to A, B, and C? And I said, no. I can introduce Lauren, the CEO of Savings, to A, B, and C, and no, I will not CC the PR firm, and no, you will not contact them. Because these top-level bloggers, they hate PR people. They hate them. And they hate wasting their time, because the thing that they have that's precious is time. So all you have to do is become a credible voice, and the rest will follow if you make a product that's good. Making a product that's good, well, that's a whole other conversation for another Ask Jason. But Peter, what are your thoughts on this?
On point. The product is everything, right? I think today, in particular, with Twitter, Facebook, the moment you launch, if it's good, it's going to have its own momentum and pickup. But those building of real relationships with people, in the genuine relationships that build over time, is really what you're looking for. My favorite book, and this applies not just for this, but in business and how to win friends and influence other people. Right? Dale Carnegie. You have to genuinely be interested in other people. You have to be likable. People have to like you. And they're going to listen. And don't always be the person asking for something. And I'm sure there's something insightful in giving, or connections and networks or stories that you can participate with. Be the person who participates before be the person that's asking. And build that relationship.
This is great advice. And in addition to this sort of kung fu you're hearing about, if you have some piece of information, right? So if you're in the space and you know about search, let's say I knew that Jimmy Wales was going to fail a month before he actually crashed and burned. That's a piece of currency now. You've got this great piece of information that Jimmy's going to fail, and you can then give that to somebody. So if you have some insider information, you can say to a Mike Arrington, to a Henry Blodgett at Silicon Valley Insider, to a Kara Swisher, you email them, you do a direct message to them, however you get to them, and say, hey, by the way, not for attribution, but I heard that Wikia search is being shut down because it's a terrible failure of a product. And then you've given them something. Now you've got currency for them. I'm not saying I would ever use currency. I have information to help people, but I'm good friends with a lot of people who are bloggers and journalists, so you can do the math. Help other people, they will inherently help you.
The other is obsess about your market. So whatever space that you're in, RSS feed. So I actually use Flock as my RSS reader, and I read several hundred articles in different spaces a day. Whether be scanning or reading it, and just know everything about your space. So when you're talking about it, there's connections and analogies of your product with others, and make it easier. As Jason pointed out, everybody who writes about your space, when you pitch them, they're going to understand what you do, rather than TechCrunch. Find the author that has written stuff about your space.
And the person who does all the PR work, if you would call it PR work, I call it relationship management, for me, is Tyler, who is the Director of Corporate Development and Strategy here. Tyler, you have any insights into this question?
I have an insight.
So Tyler actually has an insight.
Insights from Tyler.
Oh, nice.
Cause Tyler is smarter than you. When I say you, I really mean me. That's why we need insights from Tyler.
Insights from Tyler. Insights from Tyler. I love That's actually a fan sent in a jingle for Insights from Tyler.
Yeah.
Now,
Really? That's impressive.
what do you guys think about the Insights from Tyler theme song? People love it.
The picture's
Dating
better.
says that song is classic. Wow, I want my own theme music. Great jingle. I'm going to make that my ringtone. And I think it's such a great insight. Can we play it one more time?
And show the picture. And
show the
you got
picture. Let's nice and loud. Let's hear this one more time.
Insights from Tyler. Cause Tyler is smarter than you. When I say you, I really mean me. That's why we need insights from Tyler.
Oh, it's so genius. Now, Tyler, you have an insight, and also you have a backstory on that picture of us on the Sydney Bay Bridge.
That was you?
That's me next to Tyler on the Sydney Bay Bridge.
I was like, who the hell is that?
Tyler and I go all over the world together, doing these speaking gigs and blogger and journalist stuff, speaking of PR. And that's a picture of us. We climbed the Bay Bridge, and
That's
wow.
the Sydney Opera House,
How is
right?
that
And
you?
that's the Sydney Opera House. That's me on the left. And
That does not look like you.
it looks like
No way that looks like you.
It is me.
Are
It's a-
people saying it looks like you?
I
No
don't
way.
know, but I
Just,
I don't want
I
to.
think that would be.
it
That.
just doesn't. It looks like
Me
your
and
brother.
Tyler, we climbed the. It does. We are
It's like-
brothers in a way. It is pretty funny. And yes,
Okay, what's the insight?
people are here. Oh, they're special friends. That rumor's been around for a long time. We do travel the world together. And that was a fun time on the Tyler Bridge. But you had an insight about PR. Let's hear your insight from Tyler.
Yeah, you have to be. People get annoyed. The PR people get annoyed very easily, and shorter is better. So a lot of times when I'm reaching out to people, I will literally and casual. I think a lot of people. Here's the insight: is most of these people when they reach out to bloggers or press, they try and give them a big freaking press release, and that just gets thrown in the trash immediately. No one's gonna read that, and the tone is usually they make the mistake of taking this tone that's very professional.
Right.
I find
Boring.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for the people that I don't have friendships with, PR wise, I find that the more casual the tone,
Right.
the better, and the shorter. I mean, literally 5 words,
Right.
and very casual tone, because they'll think. Maybe I know this guy. I don't want to piss
So
him off.
we recently launched.
Why is this person coming off so
right.
casual?
All right, so we
I
really.
must have met this person. I don't want to piss him off, so I'll reply.
Oh, that's very
I
interesting.
like that.
So we did Mahalo Answers. We got a ton of press for that. I mean, we must have had 30 or 40 pickups.
Right.
And what would the email be to somebody that you would send? What is the one-line email for that?
As short as possible. Have something cool. You should totally check this out. Let me know when you have a minute. That's it.
Yeah.
Huh?
So,
But it's like, hey Rob, or if it's Rob Hop, a business who we know very well. But if I didn't know Rob, I would say, instead of hello, Mr. Hoff,
Right.
thinking I don't know this guy.
right.
Delete.
Right.
Anybody who
Right.
formally.
Hey, hey Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
I like my PR firm though.
Right.
Yeah. Mahalo's launching something.
You guys don't have a
Yeah.
PR firm really?
No PR firm. I've never. This is interesting. I have never had a PR firm or PR person in my entire career. Not one.
You were.
And I get more PR than anybody has deserved. In fact, I've had 5 times as much PR as I deserve. Literally.
How do you measure what you deserve?
I measure all of my press by the inch and pound. I don't read it. I just look at how's the picture, and what does the headline say? How many inches is it? Does it weigh? What's the weight? And then I throw it in a box. I haven't looked at my press ever. I never look backwards, always forward. But anyway, there's your 15-minute answer to your very simple question. Lisa, thank you for calling in. Question for you. Where are you going to be September 14th and 15th?
Ooh, Oh, I was planning on being in San Francisco, actually.
How convenient.
You are going to be in San Francisco at that time? Interestingly enough, we are having the TechCrunch 50 conference. It's extraordinarily elite conference with incredible people. As you've heard, Peter Pham is going to be there. He's been to 2 of them, 2 out of 2, 3 out of 3 this year. And instead of you paying like $2,500, would you like to come and be my guest at TechCrunch 50?
Love to.
Really? Lisa, I look forward to seeing you, Lisa, at TechCrunch 50. Alex, take care of Lisa. Great question.
Nice.
And thank you for tweeting about the show and telling people about it. It really helps each person you tell about the show. You're helping more entrepreneurs.
You've been watching This Week in Startups. To watch the full episode, click here. To check out some other shows from This Week In, click here.